Can I do the thing with
Paul?
the thing?
Do the thing, Paul.
It's the OK Podcast. Woo!
I feel like we're slowly becoming one of those like radio shows. I think
Yeah,
I said this
we
before,
are.
where they like, like some guy's
Correct.
got a washboard or something. All right, welcome. This
dude,
is
I have one.
what is it? Episode. The only washboard is the one I keep under my shirt, and it's in disrepair right now.
Whoa, that was great. Did you come up with that all on your own?
I did right now. I'm sure someone else has made that joke. All right, this is episode 8 of the podcast, and we'd like to welcome a special guest here, David Caplinger from Soothsayer Audio. He mastered everything we've put out so far that has been music and official. He mastered it. So, David, welcome to the program, if you will.
Yeah, glad to be here, guys. Thanks for having me.
Heck
I'm sure
yeah.
the wave came across real well in the audio version of this.
What's that?
I'm sure the wave came across great in the audio version.
Oh yeah, we are not professional podcasters in any way. We've done podcast. Well, Paul is the closest we have to a professional at this point. But we're still guilty of sometimes doing things that no one can see, and then assuming that they know what we're talking about. So it's all good. So let's jump right in here. We are on the heels. What is this coming out? What day would that be? The 30th of November. So, Latency, the EP, has been out for 10 days now. Very cool.
Best 10 days ever.
In a time continuum here.
So that means you should have listened to it at least 20 times.
Yeah. 400 times.
It's, as Paul noted, was that on a podcast or just in person? You can listen to it on the way to work. Just listen to the whole thing. I mean, I can't. I live very close to where I work, but so let's focus on you, David, if you don't mind. We'll have you here for that first half of the podcast, and we'll try not to bug you too many with too many questions. But so, what was your experience like working with Matt to kind of get this thing polished and ready to go, or your overall experience of working with our first batch of songs? Just whatever your thoughts are on it.
Yeah, Matt came to me with the first single, which I've got it all right in front of me, so I don't forget the names of the songs. But he came to me with Waves. Sounded great. It was really cool. He was showing me ahead of time because he does a lot of country stuff and rock stuff, and we both are fans of bands like yours that have kind of that 80s new wave, night game influence kind of thing. And so he was like, "Oh man, this band's really cool." And so he was checking it out, he sent it to me. We have a pretty close relationship, definitely as a mastering engineer. There's a lot of people, they just send you files, you send them back, they say, cool. But we're definitely friends. So, as he's working on things, he sends it to me and I'll be like, oh, that sounds great. Maybe you could do this or that. Or he listens to something I'm working on and says it sounds terrible. But we kind of, bounce ideas off of each other. And so we worked on Waves first, came out really cool. Then he sent me the rest of these songs, and I think for you guys as people that are recording yourselves, I could tell a step up in quality, as well as the songs are really great. So it was fun to dive in. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you. Maybe we just subconsciously did better. We recorded them all as a batch.
Oh,
so I don't know.
Nice. Yeah,
I'm
Matt
not
just
sure
improved. I'm
just
kidding.
We were like, yeah, Matt got better on this.
Yeah, we'll just cut Matt out of this then.
Well, I will say, we did. Waves was the first one that we all started working on.
That's true. I think we did start on it first. So,
and I know for me personally, I talked about it in the behind the song we did for that one. Recording by myself was a whole new adventure, and especially because I'm using a brand new, a new amplifier to me that I've never had to record before, and it's the JC120. So you've got that stereo chorus that happens. So I've got to record both speakers to get the sound that I'm wanting, and it was a struggle. So I know personally the guitars are probably coming across a little bit cleaner.
I really like the guitars, which makes sense. There was a JC120 because that's perfect for. I'm a guitar player too, so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect for that kind of sound.
And then a board of nothing but Boss pedals, basically.
Nice. Yeah, it made me think of this. I think I had a CE2, some cool older Boss Chorus, and I was like, oh yeah, that's the sound. It's sweet.
Oh yeah. It's the big CE20, the twin pedal that they came out with for it.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. Does that have the vibrato, like the CE1 vibrato on it, or am I thinking of a different pedal?
It does, yeah.
Yeah, which I love that sound. I got this is now going to become a guitar podcast, but I've got just to have a bunch of modulation. I've got that Boss MD200 for all the modulation stuff, and the chorus is nice on it. Yeah, so sweet.
Right on.
But yeah, so not to talk about guitars, but to talk about mastering. Yeah, so Matt sent me the songs. And, it's really when you've got a good mixer like Matt and you've got good songs, it's really just getting them to be cohesive and feel good together and to feel right, and a little bit of shaping for the genre, right? Like if every album that's coming out, with artists that are similar, maybe a little bit darker or brighter, you kind of shift things in that
Sure.
direction. As long as the artist is cool with it, to get it to fit. So, my goal always is I want it to be artistic and unique and everything that you guys did in the recording and mixing process to come through. But at the same time, I don't, unless that's the point of the song, I don't want it to come up on a Spotify playlist and people be like, what just happened? Like, you don't want it to sound crappy.
Right.
You don't want it so loud that it's shocking people or so quiet that they have to turn the cars up a bunch. You don't want it to be drastically darker or brighter, and then there's little nitpicky things that probably no one can hear of, kind of adjusting some frequencies here and there. It's all really dorky stuff, but as dorky as mastering can be, it still is, it's pretty much just mixing, but with one track with the whole song.
Sure.
So it's kind of doing some stuff to make it come across how you guys want, and that there's no issues when you listen on your AirPods or your car speaker or your phone, even that it just kind of all comes across and sounds like music, because that's kind of the goal. So it's can be a hard job, but at the same time can be a really easy job if someone's good like Matt, because you're not trying to save the day, you're just trying to enhance it a little bit.
Sure. Yeah, Paul.
Definitely.
I think Paul was the first one to listen through to the EP on the masters, and we were like, "Oh, how they sound?" He goes, "More." I forget how you phrased it. We were sitting at that diner in Ohio.
Always
like,
Oh yeah.
You were like, it sounded more glued or something. I forget how you phrased it, but it sounds better somehow. It's almost like that thing where it's like if someone doesn't have as in tune of an ear as you do, you can tell that it sounds more like what it's supposed to, but you can't necessarily go like, yeah, he changed that or did that or tweaked that, or like it just sounds correct.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the goal. Even my experience with different mastering engineers, because I do some mixing too, as, probably 50-50. My business is mixing and mastering. But there's some people, I've got to, which Matt McQueen works with them too, Matt Goldman, who's done a bunch of great albums for bands like Under Oath. And
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've got to master over the last 6 months, maybe 4 or 5 things for Goldman. And he's, Matt's really good too, but Goldman's also really good. And so for
Yeah.
his, I feel like I'm doing, almost nothing. And so that's kind of the goal, is it just sounds like at bare minimum as a mastering engineer, don't screw it up. But people unfortunately do, whether they're just too heavy handed, like if a mix is good and the songs are good, just don't screw it up. Just give it to the public. But,
Right.
most stuff falls into that middle ground where it's really good, but there's a couple things that could be tweaked, a couple things that could be glued together. So that's the goal, is to get stuff to sound radio ready for whatever
Sure.
that means.
Yeah.
But
I love how everyone wants their songs to sound radio ready, but so
but
few
they're never
people
on the
are actually,
radio.
yeah, no one's going for ads,
Yeah,
For
no one
real.
cares about the Kent State University local college radio station. Yeah.
Let me ask you this question, if you don't mind. I'm not going to ask you to to go back to Paul's favorite phrase ever, to share too much about how the sausage is made. No trade secrets here or anything. Could you maybe give us like a specific example from one of our songs where you were like, oh, that needs tweaked in a way that maybe wouldn't be as obvious to someone else?
Yeah, I think overall there's kind of the fine tuning. So not to get real dorky, and I don't have any secrets. I don't think really anyone does, even talking to friends that do this, like everyone's doing the same thing. But essentially what I try and do, especially when you're in a situation where you've already got one song done, so we can talk about this for the EP, because
Yeah.
not to break the third wall, but Waves was, we did that first, and then did a little bit of fine tuning with it and put it all together as an EP, along with that Ghostbusters song, which sounds really rad. But so yeah, we try to, at least I try to kind of get the level there. So as unimportant as how loud a song is, it's also really important, because obviously people can just turn things up and down.
Right.
But there's kind of an expectation of volume, and the louder things get, unfortunately, for better or for worse, they sound cooler. So Yeah, so you try and kind of get the general level, and that also allows me then to kind of A/B with other songs that are out there or other songs of the album. So we're shooting for getting them all in a similar level. And then once we've done that, then we're able to kind of do the overall tonal tweaks, a little brighter, a little darker, a little less mid-range, more mid-range, really broad strokes, almost, you can compare it to like the EQ on your car stereo, like really broad.
Sure.
And then, maybe there's some problem solvings, a frequency in the bass guitar pops out, things like that can be tweaked in mastering. And then, like you were saying, the glue, which could be done through like compression. Usually, if a mix is really locked together, we don't do that. I do remember compressing your song some because there's just so much space. Like there's not a ton of layers. Like, there's some guitars, there's some synths, vocals, and drums. There's not an army of 120 tracks, I don't think.
No,
Going
not on most
on.
of them.
Yeah. So a little bit of compression kind of helps to glue the drums to the bass, and it makes the whole song feel like it's moving together. And I mean, honestly, that's it. If it's a good mix, there's not a lot of crazy under the hood problem solving that's going on. But hopefully what you get from that is kind of a gloss and sheen, like you said, where everything feels glued together and a little bit better. As just a person that's involved in music, whether I'm, in the past I play guitar on albums, or mixing engineer or mastering engineer, just every step of the process, you want things to sound a little bit better if possible.
Well, that's awesome.
Heck yeah.
What was I going to say? I had another question here. I feel like an interviewer. I'm sorry.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
I'm also going to turn the brightness up on this camera because it's somehow getting darker.
That is all right. I guess you and I will talk, Paul. No, I'm just kidding.
Hello.
Yeah, hey. No, it's super cool. I unfortunately didn't get to ask my dumb question. We actually talked about having you on, David. Can you still hear me? He can't answer me. He's not on the microphone. I'm assuming he can. We were like, we're going to have him on, and it's just going to be one question. What does mastering do?
Oh, now you can see my face.
There
Nice.
it is. Look at you.
There you are. Yes. But you already answered that, so I didn't get to ask my dumb question. So that's okay.
Oh, okay.
I remember that conversation. We were like, yeah, so what does mastering really do? And we all kind of looked at each other like,
But that
sure.
That makes
mean,
us sound like we were
yeah.
doubting it. Like we weren't doubting it because there is that thing. Like I said,
Oh, no, we noticed.
you
We just couldn't
can't
define
necessarily put a finger on it if you're not familiar with what the techniques are, So.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's no way to know. That's the one thing. Mixing is much more dramatic, obviously, and you definitely, hopefully, I've never, as much as I even know what mastering does or what a mastering engineer does. I've never listened to something that sounds a little weird from a big band or something. You listen to it, and I've never been like, "Oh, that mastering engineer really screwed it up." Or you've definitely been like,
Well,
"Yeah, that's a bad mix. That's a weird mix." Because maybe not to name any bands, but I have a couple friends that do some big stuff that a lot of people have heard, and you talk to them, and they'll complain, and they're just like, I'll listen to something, and I'll be like, yeah, that wasn't your best day, huh? And they'll be just like, dude, I tried so hard. It just wasn't, the mix wasn't there. And then other stuff, they'll be like I've even gotten stuff back and been like, dude, what did you do? This sounds amazing. My mix sounds 100 times better. And he'll be like, I'll show you what I did. And it's a 0.2 dB cut at like 80 hertz. And he's like, I didn't do anything. Nice. And I was like, well, I'm just imagining it then. So I think, like I said, even the volume differences, it's so hard to even compare music, right? It's not like an arbitrary thing like a sport or something. So you just want it to feel a little bit better, and hopefully everyone, your client, agrees. And if your client's happy, that's really what matters. And then over time, more and more clients agree. You get bigger clients, and then the general public agrees, and then you have a job. So
Definitely.
hopefully.
Well, we are definitely happy with what you did with Latency and Ghostbusters, because I don't think Ghostbusters, honestly, I don't want to be that guy, but I feel like Ghostbusters might be the best thing we did this year.
It's sonically, I agree. It sounds really good. You guys did great. Matt did great. I think the master turned out good. And that's something we can, even briefly touch on, is like, since that was outside from the EP, I went a little bit in a different, not a big difference direction-wise with that. But
you weren't chained to the sonic qualities.
I didn't care if it was 1 dB louder and was a little brighter, because we didn't want them all to fit, on an EP. So I think both are great in their own way, but the Ghostbusters feels like,
Yeah, Matt
I think
sent us.
Dan Aykroyd's definitely going to hit you up for that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I'm
Trade
just
you
saying,
some Crystal Skull vodka.
There are plenty of. Oh yeah, he's the vodka guy now.
Yeah.
Matt sent us a text and he was like, "Hey guys, just quick question: are you putting Ghostbusters on the EP?" And then he was kind of like politely like, "Maybe you shouldn't."
He probably had an opinion
He was
about that.
looking
I
out
probably
for
was
us.
asking him just so I could know if I should put it in a folder.
Yes,
Just name it a certain
It worked
way.
out great. And
Yeah.
also thanks to you, we thank him, but thanks to you for putting a rush job on that. That was I mean, you guys pulled that together in like 2 days or something like that. It was awesome.
Nice. Yeah.
For real.
Yeah. He's definitely, I think, grinded a little more than me, but it all worked out. Thankfully, my wife didn't get mad at me for working on it. So.
Yeah, awesome.
Good.
You were talking about how our arrangements we didn't have like a wall of sound or anything to throw at you. That kind of hit a sore spot, but not in a bad way. It's kind of funny looking back. Excuse me, so much Diet Coke coming through my esophagus at this point. You guys are cracking up. Paul's giving me the look. Okay. We worked
Zach,
with
you're so
another
funny.
mixing engineer briefly before we landed on Matt, and the guy was great. Again, I don't want to say anything bad about him. He was awesome. He just wasn't the right fit for our project, and Matt ended up being the right guy for mixing. But this guy, his first response was, "I love the sparse arrangements," and we were like mildly offended by that. We were like, what does he mean by sparse arrangements? What the heck?
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I probably wouldn't phrase my backhanded compliment that way. I would probably say something like, and Matt can tell you I'm pretty good at BS, but I would probably say something like, "Man, I love how much space you left for the vocal.
Yeah.
It just really lets that shine," or something like that.
But looking into it, it's not like we went in and added a string section and all this auxiliary percussion beyond like shaker and tambo and stuff. And so yeah, they are relatively, there is some space there. So, but I have notoriously thin skin. Nick knows that more than anybody, but Paul's catching on too. Like I will fixate on like the smallest thing. Be like,
I'll be careful what I say then.
No, it's all right. It's okay.
He'll get one little like click in his vocal, like one little mouth noise that's not supposed to be there, that can't be mixed out or anything. We're like, just leave it. It's fine. It sounds good. It sounds normal. It's a human mouth. And he's like, no, I've got to go back and it's not right. And he just.
Well, you sounded good. There were no rocks in your mouth. I just mixed something 2 days ago where the singer definitely had rocks in his mouth.
Wow.
Oh,
Not really
man.
sure what happened.
Well, I don't want to, like you did a great job. I don't want to, we were talking about Matt. He definitely did a lot of heavy lifting with the mixing though. And it turned out great, but I'm really curious. He is less willing to share his secret sauce with us. Cause I asked him about something about the drums one time and he was just like,
ketchup and mayonnaise mixed together, man.
But long story short, I would be really curious to know how he treated my vocals because working in projects in the past, that's been a huge issue is with the mouth sounds and things like that. And I don't know. It didn't. It came across so great, so smooth.
Yeah. I think the vocals. Matt is very good at vocal mixing and especially like that polished sound. Yeah, from our conversations, I don't remember him saying anything was wrong with him. Yeah, we came up with some cool. I don't want to spill a secret sauce, but some cool ideas for the drums and stuff to make them sound a little bit bigger and things like that.
Yeah. I love how the drums turned out.
Yeah. Did you record them right in that spot right behind you?
I did, right behind me, man.
Yeah. Well, it worked out. Yeah, it sounds bigger than that room.
Well, this is a tiny room, man. You have no idea.
Yeah, the playing was
share
sweet
this.
though.
I'm not asking for you to spill the beans.
Yeah.
Keep it a secret because he chose not to share.
Okay, well, it was my idea when he did. So
My question was, so we
Love
recorded everything kind of loose timing, right? So Paul did organic timing, and then we recorded over his kind of disregarding the click track on some spots, and then Matt kind of came in and pulled it together, which gave it a great polished sound. Without kind of maybe overly making it sound computerized or anything like that. And so my question was, did he use a software for that, or did he do it himself with editing? And he was just like, I forget what his response was. It was hilarious, but he did not specifically answer the question. And then I was like, I respect that.
And you asked if he's using something like Beat Detective or something like that.
He goes, I'm
over
sleuthing the
here
beat.
sleuthing
Yeah,
the
that's what he said.
I don't know.
So-
I always just pay people to edit things for
Good
me because I'm
times.
bad at it. So I'm not sure what he did.
So, David, what kind of music do you usually get into? And I guess 2-part question here. You said you do a lot of mixing as well. You said it's about half and half though with the mixing and mastering. When you're doing mixed projects, and I guess when you're doing mastering projects, what would you say? What genre is kind of coming at you the most?
Yeah, mastering is kind of all over the board. It's pretty much anything. Mixing, I've been doing both of them for a living now for a few years, and mixing wise, it definitely started out being a lot of heavy music, which is funny because I mean that's what I mainly listened to when I was younger, is metal, rock, stuff like that. And then my previous job before being able to do this as a full-time job. Sorry, I'm gonna be annoying. I don't know if you have to cut this, but like, is my camera now really bright?
It is. It's
Because
much
my hand is
brighter
like
now.
goes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
this is
okay.
why
It's
I
heavenly,
need window
man.
covering. Yeah, I know. I got a halo. Just 1
Listen,
second. I'm sorry.
I want to tell our listeners something, and this is why David is a good mixing engineer and mastering engineer. Is his attention to detail. It's a
Preach.
good segue here.
That was a great segue.
The way he has meticulously adjusted his camera throughout this
And
podcast
Yeah.
is indicative of how meticulous he is.
I think
on the
what is
mix.
it? Is it the sun off of this
It's true.
jack? We're gonna
Yeah,
ignore
it's
this
the
now
sun,
and
for
talk.
sure.
Yeah, it's definitely the sun. This is nice.
I mean,
So, yeah.
if we're getting nitpicky about it, I can't see my own eyeballs, so that's kind of just.
Well, I'm sorry for my terrible
have to
video
get the
quality. I'm glad I
anti-glare.
set up this expensive camera to do this podcast because it looks really bad now.
You can adjust the brightness if you want to again, so I can look at your guitars behind you. I was
Oh yeah, there's a couple cool ones. I got a new Gretsch. It's nice.
Ooh.
Huh?
EP1000.
Yeah, that's all right. This is I play a lot of dad music now, so
Yeah.
I
So
like
what's
this
dad
Jazz
music?
Master.
Oh, my
Cool.
goodness.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So I play like before so we can get back in the conversation. Before I started doing this for a living. Yeah, I play guitar. I was on staff at a pretty big church out here. I did on the worship department for a while playing guitar, and then somehow transitioned into doing more front of house and live sound because I've done that for a while. And that's kind of how I got into then mixing some albums and then forced to master some and then mastering them for other people. So that's how I kind of got here. And so I would say, like I said, starting off was a lot of heavy music just because I just knew people in that kind of scene and finding people online. And then now, honestly, it's a big, I would say still maybe mixing wise, 50%, rock, metal, stuff like that. But then, I think this last week I had a couple country songs and kind of a 1975 sounding indie pop EP, some folk stuff.
Nice.
And then more like a, radio rock kind of band. So yeah, so mastering, it's all over the board. It's kind of whatever people's bringing to me. With Matt, it's a lot of country stuff, which I actually do enjoy country and rock with him. And then kind of all over the map. As far as my favorite bands, it's I like a lot of different stuff, but it's definitely bands like the Gaslight Anthem, City and Color. So stuff with really, really good
Cool.
songs. Maybe there's some rock elements in there, but
Nice.
But I dig that stuff.
Sweet.
Right on.
All right. Well, I guess this will be my last question. We are running out of time here.
Oh no.
Zoom says we have 8 minutes, but that seems about right. I feel like it's a good time to. So what? This is a dangerous question. What did you think of our project overall?
Oh man.
Did you have any thoughts on it? You don't have to love it. You don't have to like it. I'm just kind of curious.
No, I really like it actually. I legitimately, I was telling, I think it was Come Home. I had stuck in my head
Nice.
for a couple of days, and I was telling Matt, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I think that's my favorite too."
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, the thing is, like, they're good songs, and not to take anything away from the production, mixing, mastering, that's all good. It all sounded good, and I felt like we were able to present your songs to people how you hopefully imagine them. But they're good songs. There's tasty guitar parts. The bass is sweet. The drums sweet. It's a good
All
package,
right.
and I do enjoy that genre a lot because it kind of does that, like you said, like the Night Game. Like there's that '80s pop, new wave kind of thing, but there's also like a Bruce Springsteen kind of vibe to it.
okay.
And
It's a new
kind
one.
of the
I haven't
songs.
heard that one before.
Yeah.
I like that.
Oh, really? Yeah, because
Yeah.
it definitely it doesn't have that overly slick feel. So it kind of reminds me of if you
slick.
took an indie rock singer-songwriter song and you packaged it in more of a retro rock pop kind of vibe. That's kind of how I hear it, at least.
I like that.
Yeah, but I mean, bands like, at least Matt kept sending me the reference. He was sending me the Night Game, and to me, it just sounds like Bruce Springsteen with synths to me.
Sure, yeah, I could see that. Martin Johnson was a big influence on this one. So
Okay, nice.
That's been my that's what's excited me kind of working with this project with Zach, is kind of taking those 80s bands and that new wave stuff and kind of like reimagining how the timeline would have gone if they wouldn't have shifted into the 90s and they would have gone a different direction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely could see that. Yeah.
All right, so last one here. That was awesome. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Even if you didn't, you BS'd it very well.
Thank you. It's my job.
So
He's really good at BS.
So this is gonna be my last one. Tell us about Soothsayer Audio. I'm sorry, I have problems with my S's.
You're fine.
Tell us about it and how people can get in contact with you if they'd love to see about having you work on a project.
Yeah. My website, soothsayeraudio.com. I've been so busy over the last month. I'm pretty much booked solid till the beginning of the year that I haven't updated it with, new songs and stuff that we've worked on. But yeah, you can head over there and find out more info about me. I'm on Instagram too, Soothsayer Audio. So just check that out. Feel free to DM me, email. There's a phone number on there. If you're interested in me mixing or mastering your music, we can discuss it. And hopefully you're writing good music like these guys. Because then I might say I'm too busy to work on it.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
All right.
Well,
Solid, man.
in view of that, I would like to thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule, one, to master our EP and Ghostbusters in view of you having a booked solid end of the year, and also being on this podcast, because that is no small time requirement either. So your video looks great. I want to reassure you of that. It's a great feed there.
Yeah, I'm glad I wore a holographic jacket.
Yeah,
That just really
It looks
reflects
sweet,
stuff.
man.
looks
You're
good.
rocking it, dude.
From what I can see, my face looks great, and I'm just missing my torso. So
Torsos are overrated.
I'm seeing
so
more
busy.
of that on this
Yeah.
end, but yeah, you can tell there's a
Yeah.
lot of sunlight in there, so that's good.
Yeah. I'm just been so busy. I haven't bought window coverings in 3 years. So
That's
Overrated.
Good. That's good.
yeah,
All
they
right.
are overrated.
Well, David, thank you so much. You guys have anything else? I feel like I've really commandeered this.
I was just curious. How do you and Matt know each other? How far do you guys go back? When did you start doing
we
music
go
stuff
back
together?
to the internet, to Facebook.
Oh, nice.
Like most people, like how I met my wife. No, we were just on some Facebook group for dorks talking about something, and then I think it was in one of the like church audio ones, and someone was asking a dumb question and I was trying to answer it, and then he was like, "Oh, you like the rock music too, and you like Jesus, so we should be friends." And I was
That
like,
sounds just
"Sure."
like Matt. It's perfect.
Yeah, and then I probably convinced him to have me master something, and because he was unhappy with someone else, and he was like, "Oh, this doesn't sound half bad, so we can keep doing this." And then we've done that maybe a couple hundred times now. So
That's great, man.
but yeah, he's a cool dude. He's even come up here. He has family close by, and we've hung out and stuff. As I start to ascend into the heavens, this video here. But yeah, he's a cool dude.
He is. Good deal, man. Well, yeah, thanks again, dude.
Yeah, no problem. I can't wait to watch this back.
Yeah, no,
it's gonna be
I
great.
assure you, you can tell that some of it's washed out, but it's not nearly as bad as I don't think as you're seeing it on your screen.
Yeah.
Nick, anything crazy from your end?
No, nothing crazy. Sorry, I've got the kids with me today. One of them's on school calls right now, and then the other one is tearing apart the living room.
It's all good. Well, David, thank you again. Listeners out there, check out Soothsayer Audio. And David might be the right guy for your next project, but he is booked up, so be thinking in advance.
Depends how much money you have.
That's
I can
fair.
unbook myself.
Hey,
All right.
we're gonna write some more songs and
Doesn't-
send them your way.
Doesn't look good for us, Paul. We don't have
No,
any
I'll
money.
keep you at the whatever I charged you. We can do that.
All right, fair enough.
Sweet, cool.
All right,
that
thanks so
works.
much. We are going to be right back after this brief commercial break with the other two members of the OK here. David, thank you very much, and we'll catch up with you later.
Thanks, David.
We're back. You still can't hear me.
Okay, hold on. We got a message from Matt McQueen. This is real time, folks. It said, David just texted me, ... He said, just finished the OK podcast. Haha, that Paul dude is a trip. I want a vacation with him. He seems fun.
Yes! That's great.
And Matt had nice things to say about you in return.
Oh, I
we
gotta
don't
say,
wanna-
man, you are a blast. I've never danced
I'm
around
just-
Kitchen Island singing Blink-182 with another person in my life.
That was a good one, man.
Can I say this?
It just happened.
I was no joke looking through our Instagram today, and my thought was Paul's personality has changed the dynamic of what I thought the band would be in a good way.
You're welcome.
I mean, that could go further. Like, it's definitely a blend of all three of us, which is good.
For sure.
But I've been in a band with Nick before, so I knew what to expect there. But, like, Paul, you're a good addition.
I'm glad you guys feel that way.
It's weird how, like, although you started out very early on in the band, you're not like a founding member, if that makes sense. It's kind of a weird distinction, but I don't mean that negatively. It's just like...
No.
I say that to almost say it doesn't make sense to not consider you a founding member, because you're so crucial, right?
I feel like I am, but kind of. I don't know.
So how cool was having David on? That was awesome.
That was a great surprise and super cool.
So hopefully everyone was cool with me just interviewing him for a half hour to start out the podcast.
Oh yeah, man, it was great. You're a good yeah, good interviewer.
Good interviewer.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So what do you guys? What's going on? What have you guys been up to? It's can't believe we've been doing this for 8 months.
Dude, I know, I love it.
You guys know that Semisonic put out an EP this year?
Yeah.
Semi-sonic.
I heard one of the new songs. I actually dug it.
Basement Tapes. Did you hear that one?
Yes, I dug it.
Man. Kids yelling at me. But yeah, Basement Tapes. That's been my jam for the past few days.
Oh, this is gonna sound so dumb. I knew the name,
goodness.
and I did not put it together with Closing Time.
That's like their only song. I'm just kidding.
But that's
They
what
have
I'm saying.
more
Like,
songs.
if you're gonna know a song from them, you're gonna know Closing Time. But I did not put it together.
They do have some other really good songs too, but yes. Closing Time, man.
I have been on quarantine for 3 weeks
Dang.
because Taylor got COVID for sure, and I'm pretty sure I got it because I was with her for her quarantine. But because when I went and got tested, I tested negative, the health department said I had to quarantine for 14 days after her quarantine because that would technically be my last contact with someone positive for COVID. So I'm still here. I'm still at home.
Still just doing the thing.
I'll say I've done one thing where I was like, I feel comfortable with this because I know that the precautions are there. I went and got Chinese takeout because the Chinese place here in town, they put your order on a table outside, and then they just say, so-and-so, come get it. And then, like, no one else is around. You just go grab your food. I was like, I feel comfortable with that.
That's fair. I respect that.
But of the last that's been 3 days, the last 3 days before this one, I have been taking 4-mile walks. I don't know what it has to be considered a hike, but I've been going on walks down the road here in the neighborhood.
Neighborhood.
So
that's cool.
me.
Good for you, man.
Other than that,
Getting
just
out.
been eating food and getting fat. It's all
Hey,
right.
getting beefy, bro. Getting beefy. The beefy boys.
So
Nah,
my
I haven't
favorite.
been doing anything out of the normal. Like, I started my new job. That one's fun.
New
That's good.
job.
It's a weird schedule, though, man. Like, I only work 2 days this week. But I work, like...
They'll get you next time.
Well, no, so, like, I work 3 days, and then I'm off 2, and then I work 2, and then I'm off 3.
Yeah.
And then it's, like, flip-flop that, and then I do it. Like, it's crazy. But it's fun. But then I just
Good.
normally do. Digging through music, making beats on my laptop, playing disc golf. That's about it.
I
You live
think
a
Taylor's
good
home.
life. Hi, Taylor.
Yeah. No, it's awesome.
Paul,
Yo,
because I know you like pop punk.
I do like pop punk.
Have you listened to Jimmy Eat World's album from last year?
Here, you guys talk about that for
Surviving,
a second. I'll be right back.
yeah, it's so good.
Dude, right?
Dude, I absolutely love it. When the
all-
first two singles came out, I was like, why did they throw a sax solo in the song? And I was like, don't care, love it.
That saxophone solo just smacks you in the face. It's so
I know,
good.
it's so great. Dude, I love that album.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
might like Integrity Blues a little more, but I still really like Surviving.
Yeah. And then I made kind of a, because, you know, you guys know I make playlists all the time. I made one
Correct.
yesterday, 50 states.
Correct.
And it's literally just name, like, all the states. There's one for each state.
Look at you go.
Tell you the most fun
I like that.
I had with a playlist was with the Ocean City song, like songs that had the same name. Because if you go through, like, take our EP, for example. If you go through and find every song called Waves and every song called First Time and every song, like, there are millions out there, right? And so then you listen, somehow they got to the same end result, right? Like, we're naming our song Waves. And then just the vastly different crazy stuff. Taylor came in and said, I'm leaving. I was like, what? She's like, I'm going to Hobby Lobby. So she's
okay.
out there living her best life.
Good for you, Taylor. Also, I love Hobby Lobby, so
I love Hobby Lobby.
she wants to get me something.
I don't
I'm just
even
kidding.
necessarily
She's not
like
giving me
buying
anything.
anything there. I just like going.
I like both.
I will say their main, like, lobby, like their foyer when you walk in,
The Hobby Lobby?
has this, like air freshener smell.
The Hobby Lobby.
Somewhat comforting. You know what I'm talking about?
I feel
it's
you.
got like a nice scent to it. Man, your son
scent.
is going ham.
It's that lobby and Hobby Lobby
He's
scent.
yelling at Veggie Tales right now.
That's
Veggie
awesome.
Tales will get you, man.
I got to tell you,
What-
Paul, Michigan. You know the song that I picked for Michigan?
Which one? There's so many.
It's a song called Michigan by the Milk Carton Kids.
Good one. That was a good one. I was debating between that and Pretty Girl for Michigan by the Ava Brothers.
No, I didn't do that one. Tell you what, there's not
Good
a lot
pick,
of
though.
songs titled Colorado. Colorado, for being such a popular state, surprisingly doesn't have a lot of songs.
We should write a song for Colorado.
I've never been to Colorado.
Me neither. We should go and write a song.
Let me ask you this. Did you use Oklahoma for Oklahoma, or did you find like one that wasn't so on the nose?
I used Oklahoma by Wild Child.
Gotcha.
Word.
I actually found a lot of new music doing this. It was kind of fun. Because I was
That's
like
cool.
50 songs, one for each state. And some of them I knew, like when I came to Massachusetts, I was like, yeah, I'm using a Silverstein song.
Yeah.
Minnesota, I was like, Tiny Moving Parts, here we go. But like,
Nice.
like some of it, I was like, what am I going to do for Utah? Like, you know, like there's so many. What was the other one? There was another one where I was like, I have no idea. And then it ended up being like, I love this song. I've just been jamming it. Indiana by a band called Just Kidding.
Check that out. I'll have to check out your playlist.
It's not on Spotify.
It's trying to become a
never
playlist
mind.
influencer. Have you guys seen that? Playlist influencers?
No, is that a thing now?
Yeah, it's terrible. It's
Do they
where
make
people.
money?
It's where young and beautiful people make Spotify playlists that they think are amazing.
The second time in the podcast, we can clip track. I've got to go answer the door real quick.
Oh, okay.
Be safe.
And I can come back after a break or whatever you want to do. But I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right.
Wait, should we keep talking?
I mean, we
let's-
can.
We'll just keep it going. We'll make sure. We'll just,
Zach.
it's all good.
Are you a playlist influencer?
No. So
I think we could be.
I
Because
have
even though we're
such-
not necessarily young and beautiful, we're like mid-20s and beefy. And that is a market. Well, I'm late 20s.
I feel like a crabby old man because I'm just fed up with this influencer culture where it's like we're letting these 17 to 21-year-old people decide what is in and what makes money, and like that is just how it is, I guess. But well, my dog is barking very loudly outside.
Oh, which one?
Millie.
I knew it was Millie.
Yeah, she's the only barker we have. What?
Rocco wouldn't do that.
Rocco goes crazy when he sees deer or other dogs.
Really?
But Millie goes crazy for everything, so that's fine.
Interesting. I want
Yeah.
a dog. I miss having a dog.
ultimately, I think here's what I'm thinking about a lot recently. People are following people, but they're not enjoying what they're doing, if that makes sense. Like, they're not fans, they're just followers.
Dang.
And I would rather have fans than followers. You know, I don't want to influence anybody's life choices, or I don't know. It's just such a weird culture we live in. But
Yeah.
it's made me think a lot about like what I want out of a music career. And it's not for people to think I'm like the best musician, or to think, oh, I want to be just like them, or even that I want to follow him on Instagram. It's like, I want people to listen to the music and love the music and live their own independent life.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
You know, I've been having a similar thought because, like, I've been, really, really fighting the disappointment of, not being able to play shows. Like, obviously,
It's rough.
with us, but also just solo because, like, I had planned to do so many solo shows this year.
Paul, if you could get famous as a solo artist, then we could come as your band. And
that's what I'm saying.
You could launch us afterward,
So here's the other thing, though. Most of my solo music, it's not, dude, I'm not writing hits. I'm writing songs that mean something to me that I hope means something to somebody else. Like, I'm not trying to be the next big solo artist,
I think that's how you write a hit.
I mean, could be. I'm not opposed to that. I just don't write these songs, most of them, with that mindset. Like, I have some songs that I've written and I'm working on recording that I do want to be, hits, or, kind of just maybe not as deep as, like, my other stuff. But the point is, the stuff I'm most passionate about, it's that I don't really care what this sounds like. I want to like it, and whoever else likes it, cool. And I just want to play it for people that are going to, like, feel something and get something out of it. So I think it's like, I'm not striving to have influence. I'm more just striving for people to get something out of what I'm doing. And I don't know if that counts as influence, because I'm not trying to change the way people live. I just want, I guess, to make people think and feel something and go their own way with this. So I feel like I'm maybe more just trying to define that starting point, and because I'm more of a storyteller when I do play solo. I like to talk about what the songs are about, my own experiences, and I think that opens the door for people to, if they can relate, they'll come talk to you, and you can have a good conversation and help each other out. And, like, to me, that's all I want to see.
Of course.
But yeah, it is a kind of an interesting market with the fan versus follower thing, because, I mean, I don't know, there's so many bands, they might have 10,000 followers on, Instagram, whatever, but, like, are they really making money, or, are they...
Yeah. I don't know.
Are their fans bought into what they do, or they're just like, oh, I heard one song? Because I'm guilty of that. I was just flipping through Instagram the other day out of all the bands I follow, and there's some I'm like, I don't even remember who this band is. Because I probably just saw an ad, listened to 10 seconds of it, decided I liked it, went to their page and followed them. And then if I don't follow them on Spotify or something, I totally forget about it. And I hate that. But yeah, at the same time, there's that part of me that's like, well, I gave him another follow. But, like, what does that do? Like, what does that really mean in the big picture?
Yeah, I think ultimately I go back to my old saying that all is fair in love and war and the music industry, right? But at the same time, if the music industry is going to be this thing where we're almost in a competition, which is not how I view it, but, if there are so many millions and billions of people, I would love for, just a few of them to connect with us on a level that we're seeking, right? I want our music to mean something to people, and through that, I don't want people that follow the OK on social media or whatever to just be a number, like part of our statistic, part of our analytics. Like, yeah, we have so many million followers, or whatever. I mean, that's shooting big, having millions of followers, right? But I don't want it to be like, because that makes less of what that means. Like, I think it's all this big numbers game that kind of cheapens it. And that might be a little cynical, but at the same time, I just want to reiterate, my ultimate goal is for people to connect. That's the whole idea.
Yep.
So
yeah, man, that connection's such a huge thing. I mean, I don't know. I look at my favorite artists, and I feel like that's why I'm a fan, not just a follower. There was some sort of connection I made either with the song or in, like, seeing them live or getting to meet them, and, like, that's what keeps it going.
Yeah, all my favorite bands, and granted, I have, like, a very weird taste. I feel like I do less on social media than, like, a follower would. But I'm, like, a huge fan of the band. and sometimes I forget to like the post or make a comment or whatever, which would be like analytics of like, what are your interactions like? But I am a huge fan, and so I don't know what to make of it. And I think that's everyone in the industry right now. Everyone's trying to sell you something or to grow their numbers, and I don't know.
Yeah, I wish I cared more about social media, but I just don't. I don't get super into it, man. Like, I'm not going to post something if I don't feel like it's genuine. Like, I'm not going to post just for the sake of ad. Like, hey, go listen to this song, and then tomorrow, hey, go listen to the song. I don't know. It's just not me.
If I could get off,
But that's
social
also
media,
why not many people are listening. But yeah, man, I wish it could be the good old days. You just went and played a bunch of shows, and people picked up like that, and it was all good.
I mean, even in the days of MySpace, when like all the bands that like we listened to as younger men, they got launched on MySpace. It wasn't this huge like, we need all these MySpace friends. We have to get our numbers up. We need to have this many people. It was like, here's a song we wrote, and you just put it up. And it wasn't your fault or your responsibility that you got 1 million plays on MySpace or whatever.
Yep.
It just happened. It wasn't about content. It was about, well, we're a band. It's what we do. We're playing a show. Here's some music. See you later. And then they got vastly famous or whatever. But it was because people were just after it. They weren't, I don't know. We could talk about it forever. I don't want to seem like I'm misinterpreting what the world is right now or what the internet is, but it's an interesting thing to kind of get sucked into that and have to play a part in it, but also kind of reject it in a sense.
Yeah, that's a hard thing. It's like, I see a lot of bands doing these virtual shows, and it's cool. I mean, it's better than nothing. But man, I miss the real thing, Yeah. And going into like coming to the end of the year, looking at 2021, it's like I don't know if I can go another year without like really playing a show at all. So it's like, well, maybe I should just try and do some virtual,
I forgot how frequently you played shows, even outside of the OK. Like, as a hired gun or as a solo artist or whatever you're doing, you play a lot of shows on a typical year.
Yeah, I mean, summer 2020 was booked out. I think I had close to 20 shows or something.
Yes.
And it's like all of it just went,
Part of me wants to get
and I mean, I get it, but it's just like, I mean, it sucks. Like, I won't lie, it definitely hurt financially too, because most of them were, paid gigs, but
part of me wants to, like, obviously all of my energy I want to put into the OK. I want the OK to be my, like at the front of my brain. But a part of me wants to get like a side gig as like a keyboardist or a rhythm guitar player or something in like some kind of band this sounds bad, but like not quite as good as my band, like,
ew.
like, but maybe they got a couple shows that we didn't get, so just be a part of that, just to kind of get the kicks, But
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
I ultimately,
it's weird, man.
I don't want to overload anybody, and it's what we're doing this to do. But I would love to just get to a point where we're just playing so many shows that we have to start saying no to some of them, like that kind of deal.
Yeah, that's what I
awesome.
miss. And I don't know. I'm not trying to minimize, social media is all we have right now. So I think it is good, we do what we are doing with the podcast and this and that, but I'm not opposed. I'm not trying to diss, virtual shows or, social media interaction, cuz it's all we have, but I think I thrive better and I feel more genuine and like I'm getting somewhere just in that real time. Meeting people one-on-one all in the same room. But if I got to go another year just doing this, I mean, I'll do it in hopes that someday, stuff opens up. Because I think I have to look at it too, and this is something I've kind of felt, a little guilty of. It's like, if people can still hear you, like if you record music, the recording sounds good, people probably feel something from it, they dig it. But I think even just like the live stream setting, if they can still sense that, that emotion or still feel that impact, because you are still playing live, and even though they're not there, I think for me, trying to just get in the mindset of like, okay, well, if there's people watching, then like that's as close as we're going to get to being in the same room, and that's better than nothing. So,
yeah. No, I think live is still where the magic happens, right? I think about all the live shows I've played or been to, and like, I've watched several live stream concerts during COVID, and especially like I feel like a band that's really doing it right is The Main. Like, they're treating it like a real event, and they're really working to make sure that their listeners and fans, or whatever you call them, content consumers, I don't know, doesn't matter, that they're having a great time and a great experience. But it's not the same. I just feel like live shows kind of reverberate in your bones a little bit longer.
Yeah.
You know, you can kind of think back and remember the whole night as a thing. And
Yep.
then I feel like if it's online, yeah, you can make it as much as it can be. And I think that's what we're all doing, is we're just making as much of it as we can, but it's not the same. You know, it's like it's content. You experience it and then it's over. You can go back and watch it again.
I haven't met any musicians, you know, whether it's part-time, full-time, whatever, who are like, yeah, we'll just do virtual for the rest of our career. Like everybody I know or talk to right? Everybody wants to get back to touring. They want that, you know, real-time in-person connection. So I think it'll come. It might be longer than I'm willing to admit. I think it is, but I long for it, man. I am ready to get back to those days. But of course,
awesome.
I want everybody to be safe, and you know, I'm not trying to be like, yeah, this is dumb. So I get the circumstances, as many different views on it that there are, but I really do think we will get back to it. I just wish I could say, yeah, it'll be 2021 sometime.
I think it'll come back. I don't know how it'll look, but
yeah, I don't. I think I don't much care how it looks as long as it happens. You know, if
I
it's
think
smaller numbers, if it's distant, whatever, that's fine.
I could see at the very least if this drive-in thing keeps catching on. Like a lot of comedians are doing drive-ins, some bands are doing.
Yeah, some bands. Yep.
I'd be fine to do them if that's how we have to do them. I'll go do drive-ins. Drive-ins are fine.
Yep. It's something, man.
I think for the OK specifically, we've been kind of holding out to see like, well, maybe we can just wait it out and release an album, and you know, but eventually you got to start doing something as far as a live show or something that resembles a live show.
Yep. Totally, dude.
Man, I hope
Totally.
Nick's okay. I hope whoever was at his door didn't kidnap him or something.
I will drive down there. It'll be 7 hours, but I will get in the car right now. I have knives.
Oh, man. I got to tell you, I did say a little bit about it earlier, but these long walks, I don't know if you're a fan of long walks.
I love long walks.
Because
I went on like a 7-mile walk a few weeks ago.
Nice. I mean, I enjoy running if I can get myself to the shape of running. Like, I've only been there like once in my life.
Yeah.
You know, go out for 30 minutes or so and run or jog or whatever you want to call it. It's technically not running if you're jogging, but
Jogging.
Rogging. But I like the walks because I can walk for way longer than I can run, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So just throw on a podcast or just walk and experience the scenery. It's so good. I'm hoping that my physique changes somewhat, but if not, that's okay.
Nah, bro. Stay beefy.
Stay beefy, my friends.
Dude, we could make that a thing.
I don't want to, and here's the reason. If you go to the hashtag beefy boys, it's not good. It's not good.
Oh, really?
I respect the gay community, but it is predominantly like a thing like beefy boys. Like if you're into beefy boys, you know what I'm saying?
What if we spelled it with a Z?
I don't know. That might it's very 90s. I like
or
it.
like BORZ.
I just don't know that I want to like try to. One, I don't want to take over that space if it belongs to someone else, right? But yeah, I'm fine calling us the Beefy Boys or the Beefy Boys, but I don't want to make that like a personal brand or anything.
That's fair.
Hey,
he's alive!
We were like, he might have gotten kidnapped by whoever was at his door.
No, my father-in-law stopped by.
Oh.
And I work at the same place he does now, so he wanted to chat a little bit.
Sweet.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, we talked about socioeconomic policies and the Russian Revolution.
We talked a lot about social media and the negative
that's really
implications. And
Dang.
yeah, and how we miss shows.
yeah.
I miss playing shows so much.
I knew you would.
Man.
So
But one day, you know, that was the consensus.
I mean, it's getting to a point where like I can't even justify having all of my guitars and stuff if we don't start playing shows.
Yeah,
I ain't worried about that. I'm buying gear
About
left
that
and
the
right.
other
No,
day,
I'm
I
just
was
kidding.
like, I haven't even picked that one up in
Yeah.
a couple months. Like,
It's like these with no pickups in them. I couldn't find it. It's like there's no point because my idea was like, let's just rotate. Let's get these in working condition. Let's rotate, And no point of rotating if there's not going to be just play the PV all the time.
Let's just do a drive-in tour, man.
Let's
do it.
Let's plan a drive-in tour. Yeah.
I mean, I ain't scared, bro.
We'll be cold. They won't. It's fine.
Yeah, man. I got the northern blood. I'm good.
The only one that will suffer will be Nick because he has to, fine tune, with the fingers and stuff. I just have to.
All right, we can wait. We can wait till
claw
spring.
shape everything.
You just gotta like baked potato your.
Here it is, right here.
Fine, we'll wait till spring. That's fine.
Look,
Summer even. I don't care. Let's just do it.
A spring.
Like if you see like someone air guitar that doesn't really know how to play guitar,
yeah,
they're like moving their fingers like this. But if it's like someone who actually knows what they're doing, they're like F shape every time.
That's great.
I was watching Scrubs the other night. Big surprise. And there is an episode where there is an air band. Some characters on the show. Are you familiar with the show,
episode.
Paul?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's Turk and Ted and the janitor and what's his face? I forget the guy's name. He's the delivery guy. He plays the drums though in the episode. And they're air banding, and I'm like, they're actually doing pretty good. Like the janitor's playing bass, and I keep calling it Ted is playing the guitar, and they both look like they kind of know what they're doing. So that was cool.
Yep. It was a good episode.
Anyway.
You guys hear that jam over there?
Yeah.
No, I can't hear it.
My son's got a. It's from Cars. He's got a little Lightning McQueen that he can roll around on. But when you hit the button on it, it plays this like stock like dad rock jam.
Nice. Good
Yeah. Job. Hey, David likes dad music.
Speed.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I like dad music. I don't know what he's considering.
I don't know what he was. I don't think he ever.
I know. I wanted to
explained
get deeper into that conversation.
Go like super heavy into the Grateful Dead.
What is it like, Dave Matthews or something?
Ew.
I think the Grateful Dead is technically considered like dad rock.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, Black Veil Brides is like our generation dad rock.
Black Veil Brides is dad rock.
I just wanted to say that.
We got about 10 minutes here. 9 minutes
10
and 40
minutes.
seconds.
Oh, gosh.
Let's talk a little bit about what's going on. Let's talk about the album, the EP, and then what's coming up.
OMG.
Well, we've already talked about the album, the EP.
It's true.
Right,
it's out.
that's true.
Everybody
We talked
loves
about it. It's out. It made us famous. I don't know why we're talking like we're not playing shows. Our label's taking care of all that.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like, have you seen my bank account? Oh, overflowing.
I mean, seeing as
You've never seen something so red.
Yeah.
Correct. Wait, what?
What's it? Someone said you're. I can't take credit for the joke. It's a dumb Instagram thing, but it's like work until your bank account looks like a phone number. It's like mine already does. $9.11.
Ew. That's great. That's great. But yeah, so we're a big deal.
Yeah. I mean,
all our favorite bands want to tour with us, so that's cool.
That'd be so cool.
Like they want to open for us. Like that's the status we're at now. So.
Oh gosh.
We've got a nice little, not a bunch, but we got a nice little stack of songs from the getaway that we did that we need to finish.
Oh crap!
It's true.
Yeah. I'm hoping by the time this actually goes out that I will have made the demos like I've said I would. But
yeah, you've been.
I mean,
home.
Yeah, I've been at home. I have no excuse.
Yeah.
Other than I've been working from home too. So that's.
Was that another stupid Instagram thing? It's like after 2020, I can no longer say, man, if I had all the time in the world.
Yeah. Oh man. It turns out I just procrastinate in other ways.
I just find more stupid stuff on Instagram.
At least you're honest.
I sent something to you. I send you Instagram stuff all the time. That's like all I do anymore.
It's awesome. I enjoy it. See, I think that's what's so addicting about it is it sucks most of the time, and then sometimes you find the perfect post, and you're like, oh, it was worth it.
Real quick, anybody that listens to this, go check out Finn Draper, FIN_DRAPER.
Finn Draper.
The dude that like drums on like pint glasses and stuff that are filled up with different levels of water. Man, what are you talking about?
He doesn't like our podcast.
He
It's an acquired taste. I get it.
I think actually he makes my coffee.
Oh.
it's
Yeah,
kind
you
of
sent me that. It was super cool, the video.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what's next? I don't even think we've talked about this. So we got our EP out.
It's nice.
I guess either more music or more shows. We'll find out.
Yeah, whatever our new, major label says.
I would accept a major label at this point. They got a signing bonus coming my way.
Ew.
bonus.
But yeah, so, probably some new tunes. That'll be cool.
Definitely.
I think we're
Maybe
talking about
another
a cover.
cover.
At some
I don't
point.
know.
Yeah, a cover would be
Yeah,
good.
we got
Tackle
some
that
ideas.
cover.
There's maybe one we decided on, but, we're not going to tell you.
And then
Yeah.
I don't know.
When I'm allowed to, travel again, when I'm not on FBI watch list, I'm just kidding. I'm not.
I mean, who knows what's going to happen, because it seems like cases are going up.
It's true.
Well, Kentucky now, because we were doing really well as a state, and now we're a red zone.
Yeah, we decided we weren't doing well anymore.
Well, whenever we can travel again, I'm going to come down and see you
I want to
guys.
say this before anyone COVID shames my wife. She is technically in the healthcare profession.
Employee.
Yes, she got it at work. She's not like a nurse or anything. She's an SOP, but she got it at work. She wasn't out partying or going to Home Depot without a mask or anything. Just want everyone to know that's how we ended up here.
Oh, not Home Depot, man. Menards.
Oh, yeah. Menards is
Menards,
coming
when
to town.
you shop Menards.
Wait, I don't know that one.
Save big money at Menards.
I know
There's
that
a bunch
one.
of them, man.
Oh,
They got tons of them.
Man, we might just start writing jingles.
We should be a jingle band.
Can I just say, I didn't mean to, but I wrote...
Slow motion yo-yoing right now? What is that?
I was moving the headphone cable, but then it was fascinating. It's like, wow, this is cool.
I wrote an amazing song for the blog on the week of the...
You did, dude. It might be the best one we've had yet. I'm just saying.
It's not as good as Paul's about doing
Not
things
being
or
lazy.
whatever. Yeah,
Can we just make that a full song at this point since you guys love it so much?
I think we should.
You know
All
how
right,
they put that secret song at the end of the CD?
Yeah. Dude, I miss those days. Let's do it.
I don't
Remember,
think that fits our genre at all, but we could do it. We could do
Doesn't
anything
matter.
we want.
I don't know that you can do those anymore because no one buys CDs.
Yeah, they'd
Just
be like,
put it at
"What's-"
the end of the last track on the EP.
Yeah,
They'll be like, "Oh, why is the song 50 minutes long? You have to listen to 8 minutes of nothing."
yeah. 8
And
minutes
then
of
boom,
silence.
there it is. It'll be great.
Thanks, Coldplay.
I like it. Ew.
Man, but Coldplay's secret song was so good.
They always have good secret songs. That's the thing. That's a good song, Paul, but I don't know that people would be like, "Oh man, that was worth 8 minutes of silence."
That's the point. It'll be so disappointing, but rewarding.
I always loved those. The secret songs that were just really stupid.
Reliant K had some really good ones.
Yeah, they
Like
did.
their Skittles and Combo song, and then the one about the track meet, and what else?
And
There's
Reliant
another one.
songs anyways, what was the Staples from their first record?
Which one?
Staples?
I don't know. It's been so long since I listened to that one.
Like a kid who was in like a skateboarding accident or something like that, and then like the whole thing was like the chorus was like they used the words ka-chunk, but then you could hear the doctor putting staples in this punk.
Yeah, dude.
I was like, that's so hardcore.
Blast from the past, man.
Oh man.
Dang. Wow. Good times.
Back before I even had a bank account to make look like a phone number.
Ew.
Well,
yeah.
I guess that's it. We got 3 minutes
Well,
left.
cool.
That seems like a good place to end it.
That's great.
Everyone go listen to Latency. And
Latency, if you haven't already, listen to it and make sure your mom and your dad and your brothers and sisters and your dog and your aunts and uncles and your cousins, everybody.
I got this
Go
from
listen
John.
to it.
What's
I
that?
don't think enough bands talk about that, but like I'm pretty sure every band in America that is not backed by a major label would agree. If you enjoy our music and you enjoy our band, the biggest way you can support us is just show it to someone else.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just share it with somebody. I would rather you do that than spend $100 on our merch store.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
we just want to connect with people. That's all we want.
Yep.
We want fans, not followers, right?
Fans,
Actually, I
not
don't-
followers, baby.
Maybe let's not make that as. We were talking about that while you're gone, Nick. Sorry.
We're not
I
going
mean, followers are cool too, though.
no,
We'll take it all. Take it all. It's
Yeah.
all right.
But fans. We want fans.
fans.
Listen to Latency twice. I'll take that one from John Mayer. Listen to it at least twice.
Just to make sure you really like it.
That's what he said. Is when he released Continuum, he gave it to the label, and the label was like, "I don't love it," and he was like, "Listen again," or something like that. So,
Dang.
yeah, always listen twice.
That's funny.
I like
So yeah,
it.
that's out, and this is the OK podcast. Sorry, I got itchy. I don't know why I thought this was the most efficient way to itch both shoulders at the same time.
Is
but-
that your big old hoodie?
No, this is not the big old hoodie.
Oh, okay, I was just checking.
It's just a hoodie.
It's fair.
It is big,
Just-
but it's like normal big.
Word.
Word.
Cool.
All right. Anything else,
Well,
guys?
No.
No.
Minute.
Huh?
Less than a minute.
Less than a minute. All right, Paul, do
All
the
right.
thing one last time.
Which thing?
The thing.
The thing with the thing?
Yeah,
Wait
the thing with the
for
thing.
it.
Hurry.
Wait for it. The OK Podcast! Woo!
All right, we'll end it there. Thanks, guys. Bye, listeners.